Student Energy is an international organization based in Vancouver, BC, that connects youth around the world who are interested in energy, particularly renewable energy, the energy transition, that sort of thing. So we're going to talk to one of its members. Danielle Kehler is a Plains Cree from the Kawacatoose First Nation in Saskatchewan. And she's an artist focused on the resiliency of Indigenous people healing from intergenerational trauma, a member of the 2021 7 Gen Indigenous Student Energy Summit. So welcome to the interview, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
Look, I'm really interested in your views on energy because I notice in my generation, not everybody gets excited about wind and solar and batteries and electric vehicles and a sustainable future. But when I talk to youth, they really are excited. They're plugged into the climate change debate. They see the connection between clean energy and climate. Is that kind of your experience with your peers?
Yeah, most definitely. I always, as an Indigenous person, I always felt a connection to the land, and I always felt like I had a responsibility to look after it and care for it, especially not just for myself, but for future generations, for the next 7 generations. And that's basically where 7 Gen gets its name from, for the next 7 generations. And at the first Energy Summit, the first 7 Gen, I met people from all over Canada, and we all had the same ideas. We all had like the same like-mindedness, and it was really inspiring. And from there, everything just fell into place. And everybody really wants to work forward and to transition to clean energy so we can have a sustainable energy future. The way that things are going right now, like all the industry, oil and gas, everything like that, it's clearly not working. There's so much damage to ecosystems and biodiversity all over the world. And we really want to work together. We want to work with industry to help transition them to a clean energy future, so we can all live comfortably together. Yeah.
Is that part of your work around the 2021 7 Gen Indigenous Student Energy Summit? Are you going to get everybody together to talk about that? And what's your participation in that?
Yeah, well, that is the dream. I am part of a team and of incredible people. We all have different kind of strengths. My expertise in it is mentorship, basically. I am the vice chair of delegate relations. So I help all the delegates. I make sure that they're comfortable, they have their flights, that they have all the information that they need, and they need anything at all. They need how to get to the summit, anything. I look after them because it's, I used to be a mentorship coordinator. I know that developing meaningful relationships between anybody, especially youth and industry, is essential for to flourish in the future.
And is that part of the summit, is to bring in industry types and other experts so that youth can learn from those folks?
Yes, it is. So you have different people from industry, like it could be clean energy, it could be oil and gas, it can be any kind of industry within the energy sector. And that's why we want Indigenous youth to come in, because at different energy summits, like all across the world, there was hardly any Indigenous people. And it was because we don't really have a voice in the energy industry. And that's what we want to change. We want to open people's minds, and we want to expand them, and we want to give them all the knowledge and tools that they need so they can go forward and create change in their communities, as well as like contribute to Canada as a whole, or anywhere in the world, basically.
Now, your community has actually been a bit of an innovator on this. They installed solar panels early on, and the school, the water treatment plant, and the band office. Was that kind of innovativeness and forward thinking something that influenced you?
Most definitely. I always wanted to help my community and I never really understood how. And when I went to the first 7 Gen conference, that's where my whole journey started, because before then I had no idea about anything about the industry. And now I'm working with people all across the world. I go to different conferences, I get asked to do different things, and it's just like the ball keeps rolling. And when I was at the 7 Gen conference, what I wanted to do was to create a plan to implement solar power energy within my community. And little did I know they were already working on it, and they're already like 10 steps ahead of that. Um, so I'm really proud of my leadership and all the things that they're doing for the community back home, because it's super inspiring to me. And I try to the best of my ability to follow suit and to follow my leadership and to try the best for my community in the way that I know how.
When you're talking to youth in other countries, are they inspired to go and work in their communities and kind of do the similar kind of thing, get the solar panels installed and wind turbines or whatever it might be, to work towards that clean energy future?
Yeah, it's crazy how much youth all over the world think alike. Like I always say, great minds think alike. And there's people from Hong Kong, from India, from Nigeria, like all over the place. And they're already working on incredible initiatives within their community. And they're trying to really create a sustainable energy for the environment that they live in. It's really inspiring.
Now, the final question, Danny, I'm kind of curious about your view on this. I hear all the time that, your generation feels, I don't know, a little bit of despair maybe, because climate change is such a crisis. And, we're not sure that we're going to meet our targets. And, activists like Greta Thunberg are they're very upset with the lack of progress, and the fact that she says that your generation will bear the brunt of my generation's refusal to act in a timely fashion. Do you find that kind of concern, despair, with people you talk to in other countries, or does working in this, with student energy and on these issues, does it give them a real sense of hope and optimism?
Honestly, it gives us a real hope, a real sense of hope. I met people all over the world, and we work with different kind of industries, and we've been working with oil and gas, and we never gave up the hope that it could change, or that we are going to implement change somehow, some way. And we're not going to lose that hope, because we know that this is on us. This is going to be our responsibility. This is how we're going to help the next generation. This is how we're going to change the game. And one thing that I know that's super important is the traditional ecological knowledge that elders hold within the communities, not elders all over the world, because they know the land, they know things, and they've seen so many things, and they've seen time transition and change. And holding their knowledge is so important and key to creating this change. And that's how we're gonna change the world.
Danny, thank you very much for this. It was lovely meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.